half a tablespoon of butter, a yellow onion diced, a large carrot chopped, 2 celery stalks chopped, corn kernels removed from the cobs, which we did, a bay leaf, 2 cups of milk, and a cup of heavy whipping cream, a cup of chicken broth, bell pepper, green bell pepper, salt and pepper, fresh thyme, and red potatoes. So that's what, and it will keep in the freezer for 2 months, just so you know. So there it is. So I'm going to turn you guys around, and I'm going to get this party started. I'm going to lay my recipe right there. Actually, this is Brenda's recipe. So that's what we'll be making. If you see the red live in the upper left-hand corner, that means that we are live. If you do not see the red live, that means you are watching the replay. Please do hashtag replay in the comments so I know that you've watched the replays. So let's pray over this food and let's get this party started. How about that? So I'm going to flip you guys around. We're going to turn the light on. Oops, right here. There we go. Okay. Let's flip you around and turn the more lights on. There we go. And we're going to pray over this food. Are you guys ready? Father, in Jesus' name, we thank you for this food. I ask that you bless my hands as I prepare it. Bless the hands that bought it and bless every mouth that eats it. In the name of Jesus, we ask it. And everybody said amen. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do, okay, so we're going to put our, there. We're going to put 2 tablespoons of butter in the pan, just like that. And we're going to melt it. Okay, let's see. So, in a large saucepan, melt the butter over medium heat. Then add the beef until it renders its fat and it's browned. Then we have to add the onion and the carrots and the celery and that. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, let me get my spoon. We're melting our butter in our little pan. There we go. And then we're going to add our beef. Richie has this is kind of like steak that has been sliced very thinly. So that's what we're going to use. I'll show you. Let me get this bag open, sorry. So it's not going to render a lot of fat, but that's okay because we don't need it anyway. Okay, so there's our steak right there. And let me throw this bag away. And then we will chop that beef up in the butter. I'm not supposed to be using a hand, but we can use it a little bit. So, okay, now, next, says while you're cooking the beef, I think I'm supposed to put the bay leaf in there with it. Okay. 2 tablespoons unsalted butter, the ground beef, the onions, the carrots, the celery. Okay, in a large saucepan, melt the butter over medium heat, add the beef. Fry until it renders the fat and begins to brown about 3 or 4 minutes. Add the onions and saute until soft. Add the carrots and celery and green pepper. Cook for 4 to 5 more minutes. Okay. Yeah, okay, and then we add the bay leaf. Okay, so when this starts, this is difficult using my left hand, but we gotta do what we gotta do, right? I'm gonna try to use, I'm taking this off, I can't do it. We're taking her off. We'll put it back on when we're done. Just can't. Okay. There we go. Okay, so it said just until it starts to brown and it renders some fat. So that looks like, okay. Let me get her salt and pepper here and there. Okay. So here's her black pepper. And it says to taste, so I'll just let you guys see how much I put in there by the spoon. So there's the black pepper. And then salt. Not a lot of salt. As y'all know, I don't want salt. So there's the salt and pepper. Okay, and now we have to pour our onion, our chopped onion, and cook that in there. Just like that. Put my bowl in the sink. And my green pepper. I'm going to do the green pepper with the onions because they cook about at the same speed. So we are going to do that. Whoops. Okay. And then it says to cook this until the onion turns translucent. Okay. Saute 4 to 5 minutes until soft. Oh, it said until soft. Duh. Until it's soft. Okay, so this little beef packet came with that steak. So and it's just called Wow Seasoning. And I'm going to sprinkle that in there. Just because I think it's a beef seasoning. So there we go. Because it came with the steak, and you guys know how I roll. Waste not, want not. So there it is. So we've got our steak, our onions, and our pepper. And we're going to cook them for 4 or 5 minutes, it says. So let's do that. And then we add our carrots and our celery. Get these ready. Okay, so them onions are looking like they're soft for the most part. They look pretty soft to me. Do you guys think they're soft? I think they're soft. Okay, so next we're going to put some carrots and some celery. And y'all know I love to use the celery leaves because it really flavors it, I believe. So I cut my celery with the leaves and I use it all. Just like that. Because the celery leaves has a lot of flavor. So don't ever throw your celery leaves away. because we love them. There we go. And now we'll cook these. And it says to cook this. Let me read. Okay. Add the carrots and celery. Cook for 4 to 5 more minutes. And then we're going to add the corn and the bay leaf and bring it to a boil. Okay, so we need regular milk and we need heavy cream. So first we start with the milk and then, okay, so then break the corn off the cobs, add it to the saucepan, add the milk and the chicken broth and the bay leaf. Okay, so we have to cook this for about 4 or 5 minutes, just like that. Two cups of chicken broth and 2 cups of whole milk. So we'll stir fry this up pretty good. Looking good. There we go. And look at that steak, looks so good in there. I'm so glad Richie left that here for us to use. It looks very interesting. I think that looks, and it reminds me of like a steakum meat. It says it's a thinly sliced steak. So I think that looks like steakums. That's what it appears to be. Okay. So now we are going to add 2 cups, and this is supposed to be on high, which it is. We're going to add 2 cups of our chicken broth. Right there. And 2 cups of milk. Let me open this because I got that little thing of milk that is exactly 2 cups because it was like cheaper to get this, so that's what I got. If I can open it, there we go. Okay, so this is the vitamin D milk, and it's exactly 2 cups. So we're gonna pour that right in there, and then we want that to come to a boil. So I'll throw these away. There we go. And we have to put our bay leaf, and I have fresh bay leaves, which freaked me out because I never ever seen a fresh bay leaf before, so I thought that was kind of cool. So we're going to put a fresh bay leaf. I'm going to put, no, we better just do 1 because that's all called. Nah, well, let's do 2 just in case. We'll do 2 fresh bay leaves. Okay, let's take a picture of that. There we go. Okay, and then we have to put our corn in there. As soon as this comes to a boil, we will add our corn. Okay, and then in a saucepan, oh, it says to add the corn now. Okay, so I'm supposed to put 2 cups of corn. And this is fresh corn on the cob, right there. Okay, so that's our 2 cups of corn. Right there. And then we have to bring this to a boil. That was 2 cups. Keep feeling like I need to put more. But you guys already know how I roll. Okay, let me step away from the bowl of corn. There it is. Okay, so we need to bring this to a boil. There we go. Okay. So then, okay. And then add your potatoes and your heavy cream. Okay, make sure preventing the scalding of the milk from the bottom of the pan. Okay, remove the bay leaf. Add the potatoes. Simmer. Okay. So when do I add the thyme leaves? Okay, discard the bay leaves. Add the potatoes. More salt and pepper if desired. Reduce the heat to maintain the simmer till the potatoes are tender with a fork. Oh, raise the heat. Okay, and then add the thyme. So the thyme is the last thing that we add. The thyme and the heavy cream. So this we have to bring to a boil. So now we need to wait for this to boil. Right there. Okay. So, I guess we'll just stare at it. So this has the corn. I still think I need to add more corn. Whoops, touch something. I'm gonna add more corn. I mean, I love corn. I'm just going to add more. Let's just add it all. Let's just do, why not? There, so that was about 3 cups of corn instead of 2. Yeah, see, it is corn chowder, right? Heck yeah, man. And then that will boil with the bay leaf sitting up here. Look at that. There it is. Okay. So now we need this to really come to a nice boil. Time consuming. I know, I'm sorry that it's so time consuming, but when you make food from scratch, that's what you have, is time consuming products. Also, what I'm going to make, not tomorrow, I'm going to give my shoulder and my arm a rest tomorrow, but probably Wednesday, I'm going to make some fried green tomatoes and fried eggplant. So yeah, that looks like it needs more pepper to me. Do you guys think so? I'm going to add more pepper. I don't want to add a whole lot. The stomach is sensitive to black pepper right now. There we go. I should probably put that brace back on certain. But there we go. So we added a little more hot pepper. Look at that. We love it, right? Okay, so we just have to wait for this to boil. I mean, like, you have to do it in steps, so you know. So let's just look at it and wait for it to come to a boil. Then we will add our potatoes and we will bring it to more of a boil, and our heavy cream, and I think a little more water because I did add more corn just to compensate. So I'm waiting for this to boil. Come on, boys. Giddy up. Giddy up, giddy up. See, when you're making it by yourself, you don't realize the time that it takes for something to come to a boil, unless you're just sitting there staring at the pan, thinking, why is this taking so long? And you know that others are watching, waiting for the boil to happen. And it just takes longer. We have no idea about. So there it is. So there it is. Oh yeah, so yeah. So Jerry and Todd went out the other night. I don't think I shared with you guys. And Jerry allowed Todd to choose. And Todd chose the local, where I think they said they did karaoke or something there. And they had a very enjoyable evening. Jerry and Todd both enjoyed. It was like a guy's night out, so that's groovy. We love it when that happens, man. So, yep, the guys they've been hanging and taking care of each other, and we're digging it. I can dig it. See, and we have to let this come to a boil because of the bay leaves that are in there. We need the bay leaves to release the season for chowder that gives it its flavor is the bay leaf. So it's really important. It looks like it's beginning to boil. I'll set my potatoes back there. And while we're waiting, I might as well just wash some of these bowls that was having our veggies. So you guys, I have a question. What is your favorite chowder, or favorite stew, or favorite soup? Oh, my phone's going off. Sorry. That was my alarm in case I dozed off. So, what is your favorite chowder that you've had or you would like to have? So my favorite chowder is absolutely corn chowder by far, but I do like potato chowder. My mom called it potato goulash. Also, one of my favorite soups is a pea soup. I love some pea soup. I absolutely love it. So you guys share with us what your favorite stew or chowder or soup is that you would like us to make on a live. That's that. Okay, and dishes are done. It still ain't boiling. What the even heck? Okay. So, no comments? I don't see any comments over here. No comments. Just everybody watching, I guess. see over here. Hot dogs. Pork and bean chowder with lots of... I don't think that's a real thing, Jerry. You crazy nut. Broccoli and cheese. Hi, Bobbert. I see you, darling. I love clam. Oh, I love clam chowder too, Chris. But you add shrimp to it and Cajun seasoning. That sounds very interesting. That would be a very interesting dish. I would like that, I bet. Let's see. Chicken noodle soup. Beef stew. I love beef stew. Clam chowder and corn chowder. My favorite soup is vegetable. I love veggie soups, man. Clam chowder. Yeah, thank you for the stars, Lisa. You're a superstar. Todd, Jerry have. Jerry wants me to, let me fix this. I feel like you guys are crooked or something. There we go. There. Loaded potato. Girl, go ahead, Tina. Oh, I love me some loaded potato soup. That sounds so good. Corn and bacon chowder. Okay, well, that's interesting. So this is getting pretty heated up. I'm thinking because this pan is so thick, maybe, like she has a really amazing pan set. So I'm thinking maybe it's one of the reasons it's taken so long, because it is on high. It's on high. It is on high. I don't know why it's so long, but there. Let's just be patient. I would have been a doctor, but I had no patience. Dun, dun, dun. Thirsty. So, what have you did all weekend? What did you guys do over the weekend? We watched football while we were in the hospital yesterday, and we had a lot of the male nurses walking by listening. Well, we was because they sat me. So at the U of M, they have some of their rooms for the like less serious patients that don't have to get undressed or things like that. Like me, that needed X-rays on my shoulder and my hand, and so they set you in the hall. So Brenda and I sat in the hallway on her phone because my phone died, watching her football games. And so some of the doctors and the male nurses and a couple of the female nurses, as a matter of fact, was like, I'm listening. Who was that? Who made that? So it was kind of cool. So they got to listen to the game while they was working. So maybe that's why they kept us there all day and all night. Could have something to do with that. And as a matter of fact, right after the shift change is when we finally got to hear what the x-rays read and was able to be released. So I wonder if they just kept us there to hear the game. I'm going to have to ask Brenda that. It's possible. Okay, this is getting ready to boil. I can tell I'm getting excited. But this is getting ready to come to a boil. And then we'll put in our titers and our other water and our heavy cream. Yep, it's going to do it. It's starting to boil. I'm excited. Thank you, Kimber. So if anybody has a prayer request, please go to Mama D's prayer requests and praise reports on FB. Scroll down to the post that has this week's dates on it and post your prayer request, and when we are done with our chowder, or while it's simmering, we will go do our prayers. And then, as always, I will post pictures of the finished product. You guys know how I do my little short videos or reels or whatever you want to call them of the finished product. So we will do that. Yay, look, it's starting to boil. Okay, so now it's starting to boil. Ouch. My hand. That bowl up. Okay, so this is beginning to boil. Can you guys see it? It's beginning to boil. Thank you, Donna. Thank you, Donna. Yes, it is. Okay, so I'm going to add our red potatoes. And our thyme. There we go. There's our potatoes. And this is the thyme. And so we have to, it doesn't say how much, it just says fresh thyme. Let me see if this is a half a teaspoon of fresh thyme. So I want to put the whole fresh thyme in there. So I think that will equal about a half a teaspoon. Maybe we'll do one more. There we go. Okay, so there's our fresh thyme. Okay. Let's stir the potatoes. Oops. Oops. I touched a button. Y'all already know. Y'all already know. I was trying to take a picture. There we go. Okay, so let's stir our thyme and our potatoes into the chowder. And then we have to put our water and our heavy cream. And I've got some parsley here, so I'm going to add a little bit of fresh parsley just because I feel like it will make it prettier and add some good element to it. So there's that. Okay. And now, let me get our water. We're going to add just a little bit of water to it. That was about a cup of water. And we want that to boil. And then we will add our heavy cream. And we're going to let this simmer, just like downtown. There it is. And then this, I will save the rest of that parsley for the top. Wash this bowl. Alright, so we want this to come to a real nice, full, heavy boil. And then we have to cook this until the potatoes is almost done. And then we will add our heavy cream. Because we don't want that cream to thicken too soon. Because that heavy cream is going to thicken this up. We want our herbs to be able to cook throughout the liquid, and we want our potatoes and carrots to be done. So it's said to make sure that the potatoes, when pierced with a fork, is tender, and then you can add your heavy cream. Just waiting for this to boil again. So there it is. We're waiting on it. And the only thing we have left to add is our heavy whipping cream. Right there. It's our heavy whipping cream. And this I will add 1 cup. After this boils real good, you can see the corn and the vegetables, the potatoes, the steak meat, the beef meat, the celery. Look at that. The bay leaves, the green peppers. This is going to be a very hearty chowder. I'm very excited for this. It smells so good. I should get a spoon and taste that juice and see if I can get a spoon and taste our juice, and I will tell you. Oh, man. Oh, wow. That's so good. You can really taste the corn. You can taste just a hint of them bay leaves. Maybe a hint of the thyme. Oh, that's good. My goodness, I'm so excited. And that corn is so sweet. It really accents the corn chowder because it's so fresh. The corn is fresh off the cob that we got from the farmer's market. And Brenda took the corn off the cob, so we're using fresh corn. And it has that sweet flavor, so it really accents the chowder. Wash that spoon. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna put my brace back on, just because I've already felt my wrist pull a little bit. There we go. Okay, and we can stir this with the brace on. See, it doesn't harm. But it's easier to use the left hand. So let's do that. Yeah, this is getting nice and hot. We want this to really, really come to a rapid boil for about 10 minutes. So that's what we're going to wait for, is for this to come to a real nice rapid boil, and then I'll time it, you know, for about 10 minutes. And then we will put our heavy whipping cream in, and we will turn it down to a simmer and allow it, which we will have to stir it occasionally, you know, so it doesn't burn the cream, because the heavy whipping cream, you know. And if it doesn't thicken enough, the recipe says to make a slurry of cornstarch and water. But I think we have enough starchy vegetables in there with the corn and the potatoes and the carrots and the heavy cream that we won't need to do a cornstarch slurry. I don't really like to use cornstarch if I don't have to, you know. Isn't that pretty though? It's pretty. I think it's pretty. And she's starting to boil. Look at it. Yes. It's definitely definitely starting to boil around the edges. I will show you guys the package of beef that I used. It is 100% sirloin, thinly sliced. Right there. 100% sirloin, thinly sliced. And this is the product that we use. I think my brother or sister-in-law got that from Sam's, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, so we'll stir that. Okay, so I think this is starting to get nice and hot and boil good. So I'm going to start my 10-minute timer. Okay, so timer. There we go. So we got our 10-minute timer set. And we are going to let this boil for 10 minutes. It's very important that we allow this to boil because we need to open them spices up. We need our carrots and our potatoes to cook thoroughly so that when they are pierced by a fork, they're tender. And then we will add our heavy whipping cream and we will simmer. We will allow it to simmer. So it's doing a really nice boil, and I'm liking that. I know you're probably not supposed to stir it, but I want to stir because I think it's going to help get that heat distributed throughout there. But with her pan set, she has an amazing pan set, man. I'm not sure what the name of this is, but I'm really digging her pan set. Let's see, it is Star Frit. Starfrit. Starfrit is the name of this pan set that she has. And I love it because it seems to be naturally non-stick, and it washes so easily. It maintains the heat, which I love. And so, yeah, this is a really, really good pan set. That one said Starfrit. Is it Starfrit? Yeah. Starfrit. That's what it says. Yeah, see, that's boiling up really nice. We're digging it. Just help them flavors combined. Want them spices emerged in that juice. So we have 7 more minutes, and then we can add our heavy whipping cream. There we go. Look at that, y'all. Looking good. Did you go to Jamaica, Mom? I love your tan. Yeah, I wish. Send me some to the mail. Looks good, thank you. Hi, Jamie Ostrander. Just jumped in. Heard you didn't feel good today. Yeah, I was in the hospital all day yesterday and last night from when I had fell last week at home. I was carrying groceries up the steps and my house shoe caught one of the steps and I went flying. And I slammed my shoulder and my chest. and my left elbow against these bottles of water, and it was progressively getting worse. So I went to the hospital, and we went to the University of Michigan in Ann Arbor, because we're right here in Ann Arbor. So we went to the university, and they are slower than a sloth, let me tell you. And the nurses was like, it's like this all the time. It's always this slow. I'm like, wow. And all they did was do x-rays on my chest, my shoulder, my wrist. Yeah. And it took that long. I'm like, something's wrong with this program. But, they have a lot of emergencies that come in, and all the ambulances. I seen while I was there so many emergency ambulances that came into that ER, and so many emergencies where all the doctors had to go resuscitate people and take them to emergency surgery. And so this hospital is very, 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 very busy. But the thing about it is it may take them a long time to be able to see somebody, but they assess. Doctors had interns, because there's, they have the university, the college there for people that is, becoming doctors and whatever. And so they do their hands-on training right at the hospital, literally real life hands-on training. And so, we got 4 minutes. So yeah, so it was very, very slow. But I learned a few things about, like, my rotator cuff. I learned that my rotator cuff, this has been going on progressively for a long time. And why did my doctors not tell me? They have done multiple x-rays of my shoulders because of my stenosis and spondylitis, because of my arthritis, where they have to do shots in my shoulders and hands, and because of everything. And nobody even told me. I had no idea until now. And so now I'm finding out that it's just progressively gotten worse. And who knew that your rotator cuff could disintegrate? I didn't know that. How does that happen? They said overuse. So I don't know, I guess just working my whole life, at the greenhouse and the farm, and reaching and picking apples and picking cherries and picking, doing all that stuff, working on the farm and at the greenhouse, where you plant consistently and lay them flats down on the floor, and takes its toll. Running cash registers and just lifting heavy boxes to stock. And we got 2 minutes, you guys. We have 2 minutes. Look at her boil. All them flavors is combining. I'm going to check a potato and a carrot. That carrot is tender. Let me find a potato, see how we're doing. Potatoes are not completely done, but pretty near. I guess that's why we have to simmer it. Okay. We have 1 minute and 36 seconds left. And then we will pour our heavy cream in. As soon as that is getting ready to go off, we've got 1 minute and 19 seconds. And that's cooking up so nicely. Look at that, y'all. Just like Mama used to make. Look at that. Just like downtown, son. This right here is what you call a happy meal. This is a happy meal, y'all. Because when you eat it, it makes you feel happy all inside. It's a comfort food, and yeah, it's just supposed to be amazing. I thought little Missy was going to come out here with the kids, see the horses one day, but because I'm leaving to go home, Friday morning? Is it Thursday or Friday? I don't remember. I think it's Friday. So we shall see. I know, right? Doesn't it look... I know, if you could only have Rebel smell-o-vision. Somebody. Now we have to add our heavy cream. Right there, it's a cup of heavy cream. Then we're going to stir this in. I can't stir with that arm. There we go. And we'll let this boil for a minute. And then we will turn it down on simmer. And we will allow this to simmer. Yes. That looks good. Look at that. Okay, y'all. Thank you for watching. There will be pictures more of the finished product. I will make a video to show you what the finished, on this page. So God bless you from Mama D's house to yours. If you would like to continue on with the live, you can go to my page on FB. I don't know if I'm allowed to say the word, but Mama D's Prayer, Cooking, and Life. See you guys later. Have a good day. Bye-bye.